The Arteriograph story goes back to more than 16, 17 years. And it started with the fact that I had an idea which generated by looking to the oscillometer and oscilloscope. And then I saw the brachial cuff signals on the engineering oscilloscopy. Thus, I observed that very interesting and very complex pictures and curves were coming out from the oscilloscope. And then I supposed whether these signals would contain any information about the systematic circulation and about the probably arterial stiffness. And then this idea and this dream didn't let me sleep well. And then God helped me in 2001. Because we were able to win on a large tender and a large support. This was issued by the Hungarian National Development and Research Program, and we collected and we got almost $2 million for the research of this issue. I made a very famous consortium contained of Medical University of Semmelweis, First Department of Internal Medicine, the Academician Institute, and the TensioMed and me was the principal investigator of this large trial. What we did? We created almost 500 special devices which were taken to the patient home and the blood pressure was measured. But not only the blood pressure and the measurement time was transmitted to our central computer system via telephone line, but also the curves measured and collected during the measurement. And the patients were measuring their blood pressure for a couple of weeks, and then we split into two parts this kind of population, cardiovascular disease and healthy population. We collected almost 2 million oscillatory curves from the patients, diseased and non-diseased group. But we didn't know what to do with, so we made so-called data mining. A Cohonen-like self-organizing method program was used, which showed that there is a difference in the oscillatory curves between the diseased, cardiovascular disease, and healthy population. But it didn't tell us where is this. Then I was very disappointed sitting in front of the computer for years and studying 10,000 and 100,000 of pressure curves, while I recognized that a certain curve turns to the left and a certain curve turns to the right at the suprasystolic pressure when the cuff was pressurized higher than the actual measured systolic blood pressure. And then the idea came. I asked the engineer, please separate those subjects who are younger than 35 from those who are older than 60. And the answer was given. All of the youngers had left turning signal and the olders had right turning signal. What was it? Due to the arterial stiffness, which was increased of the elderly subjects, the second systolic was elevated, and this was the cause of the right turning of the pressure curve. Then I got crazy, and my engineer colleagues, because we indeed understood that if we pressurize the cuff higher than the systolic blood pressure, at least 35-40 mercury, a beautifully separated first and reflected pressure curve can be obtained from the cuff, which allows us to perform the measurement reliably on the augmentation index, the central blood pressure, and the aortic pulse velocity. And this was the basis of our patenting process. We patented the system in almost 35 countries, and the device occurred on the market in 2005.